Unless otherwise indicated, Ratchet Book Club is intended for a mature audience. Viewer discretion is greatly advised. Welcome to Ratchet Book Club, where we read hood classics and good classics. I'm Derek, and if you've already been reading this book with me, then you know we on some dumb shit. 916-633-1537, Ratchet and Ratchet at gmail.com, Ratchet Book Club on Twitter, Ratchet Book Club on Facebook. I feel like we lose a lot of white people when we do the Ratchet book. So niggas, let me talk to y'all real quick. So everybody in this book is white that's doing good stuff. Except for the mom who called him a nigger, called the baby a nigger, and Chelsea who's doing fuck shit. No, I changed my mind. Everybody in this book is trash. Except for Jason. And Jake's probably gonna do some trash ass shit too. But damn, Derek has graduated pretty quickly from a 21-year-old who lived with his mama to a full-on I'm gonna beat the shit out of you pimp, hasn't he? Like that happened real fast. Like, Okay, white people, if you're listening, you can uncover your ears now. No more earmuffs. Chapter 18. She stood on the corner, dressed in nothing but a floor-length mink coat with a pair of black stilettos. Chelsea pulled out a cigarette and lit it up as she waited for her date. Derek sat in the car and waited until the guy pulled up to pay him. Damn, bitch, put that fucking cigarette out, said Derek. See, I was just talking about this nigga. Graduated so quickly. Like, skip classes. He just had it in him. Oh, fuck off, Derek. I ain't bothering you, Chelsea shot back. Actually, you is. I don't need this motherfucker thinking of any reason to pay us less, Derek told her. Chelsea rolled her eyes and flicked the cigarette into the street. Just then, a silver Cadillac pulled up. Do these folks have anything other than Cadillacs? Like, can I get a Miata? Can I get a fucking Lexus? Why we got Cadillac brohams all up in this bitch? Where are you from, Memphis? Chelsea expected more, but she didn't speak on it. The door opened and out stepped Jeremy. Right then and there, Chelsea felt uneasy. She was trying to get rid of Jeremy because he was starting to catch feelings for her, and she didn't have time for that. Plus, you know, the whole he supplies her with crack. We don't talk about that part, though. We don't talk about Brune. No. She knew if Derek found out she was having relations with Jeremy, hot, sweaty relations. She knew relations. What kind of old woman shit is that? She knew that if Derek found out that she was having marital bliss, she knew that if Derek knew that she lay with Jeremy. That's what that shit sound like. It sound real biblical. Eve had relations with Adam. No. She knew that if Derek knew of them, I think that's what they say in the Bible, and Adam knew Eve. Doesn't even say fucked. Adam knew Eve. I need to read the Bible more. God's coming soon, I'm sure of it. Too much shit is happening. Chelsea didn't know how Jeremy found out about Derek, but he did. And he was using this situation to his advantage. When he came up to Chelsea, he was smiling from ear to ear, but it wasn't a happy smile. It had danger written all over it. I would say something from Mystical right there, but that nigga went back to jail again for hurting women, so fuck that dude. Enough of all that meet and greet shit. Where my money at? Derek asked. Jeremy went over to the driver's side window and gave Derek a bag. When Derek opened it, his eyes lit up in excitement. He ran his hand through the neatly stacked cash. All right, y'all have a good time. Chelsea, I'll be waiting here at 2 o'clock on the dot, he said sternly, in his drop top. Or was that 7 o'clock? Usher, usher. Okay, Daddy, Chelsea said as she blew him a kiss. Derek pulled off without looking back. Well, 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 so we meet again, Jeremy said. Look, let's just get this over with, Chelsea said as she got inside the car. Jeremy followed and got inside the car as well. As they drove, Chelsea felt very uncomfortable. She didn't understand why, because this wasn't the first time she had been with Jeremy, but for some reason, things just weren't the same. They pulled up to a restaurant, and Chelsea felt better once she was around people. They went inside and took their seat as their waiter came over. Order whatever you want, he told her. I'll just have a glass of wine and a salad, she told the waiter. I'll have the steak dinner, Jeremy said. The waiter took their orders and walked away. Why are you acting so strange? Chelsea asked. Jeremy sipped his water before speaking. To be real, I'm still upset about you just using me to get high. I could have done way more for you than that wannabe pimp you're with, Jeremy told her. Chelsea laughed loudly. You could never do more for me than what Derek has already done, Chelsea said with confidence. To recap, Derek had his friends pay her to run a train on her. Derek beat her up. Derek had an old man with smelly genitals sexually assault her while she was asleep. The one who snowballed her. Derek beat her up. Derek took her money and beat her up. Yeah, okay. Yeah, she must think pretty lowly of you, Jeremy. That's all I'm saying. Jeremy's jaw got tight and Chelsea noticed it, so she tensed up a little. You know what? It's cool, he told her. I have to go to the ladies' room, Chelsea said as she got up and grabbed her purse. When she made it to the ladies' room, she took out her cell and called Derek. The fuck you doing calling me when you're supposed to be fucking and sucking, he told her. This guy's making me feel uncomfortable. Can you please cut the date short? Chelsea begged. Derek blew loudly into the phone. Fuck it. I already got my money, he thought. Alright, cool. Cut that shit short, he told her. Thank you, Daddy, Chelsea said and then ended the call. When she got back out, her food and wine was at the table. Jeremy was sitting there patiently waiting. Sorry about that. Derek called me to let me know the date has to be cut short, Chelsea said as she gulped down her glass of wine. I paid 10 fucking grand to be with you. Fuck that, Jeremy barked. Nigga, if nobody else knows she's a crackhead, you know she's a crackhead. Why are you paying $10,000? I mean, we escalating quickly because I think the last dude paid like $5 for a crackhead. And I don't mean to say that she's a crackhead over and over again, but I'm thinking that at some point it has to start to show, right? Like, she can't just keep living her life like it's golden. Like, y'all, you know, it ain't none of y'all using condoms. No way y'all gonna die. Well, that's not my problem. Daddy's rules are daddy's rules. Now, can you please take me back? Chelsea said as she headed to the door. Jeremy was fuming. His hands were shaking and his palms were sweaty. He threw up a little bit. Mom spaghetti. He took out a little plastic baggie that contained a white, powdery substance. Jeremy then took his pinky fingernail, got some out, and snorted it up each nostril. He cracked his knuckles and swiped everything off the table and walked out. Everyone looked shocked by what he just did. Jeremy got in the car and slammed the door hard. You want to be with this nigga, then cool, Jeremy said as he sped off. You need to slow down. I can't believe you're acting like this, Chelsea said. Jeremy sped in and out of traffic. His mind was in 1,000 places at once. He was seeing 3 of everything. Everything seemed to be moving all at once. Jeremy was starting to hear voices, so he started banging on his head with his fists. Get the fuck out of my head, he yelled. Pull over right now, Jeremy. Let me out of this damn car, Chelsea said in a frightened tone. Jeremy ignored her and kept on going. He sped past a police car, and they put on their sirens and followed. Jeremy only stopped because he had reached his destination. Once he saw Derek's car, the emotions started flowing. He became angry all over again. As Chelsea opened the car door and proceeded to get out, Jeremy grabbed a handful of her hair and slit her throat. Wait, what? I know I just read that, but I was going kind of fast. Wait, what? Okay. If I can't have you, then no one can, he yelled and then sped off just as the officer approached his door. Derek got out the car, but he hopped right the fuck back in and sped off once he saw the police. Chelsea was on the sidewalk, holding her neck and gurgling on her own blood. Her life was flashing before her eyes, and the last image she saw was of her daughter, but not really, because she really left the daughter when she was like a week old. So she don't remember what that nigga looked like. For real, for real. And we know she didn't die because it's her book. Chapter 19. It was Monday morning, and Jason was getting ready for work. He, Sarah, and baby Chelsea went away for the weekend to celebrate the fact that he had just landed a second good-paying job. Sarah was an old friend of his whom he had hired to babysit Chelsea when he went to work, and they were getting pretty close. After he was done getting dressed, he went downstairs to get some breakfast. That doesn't make any sense at all, Sarah said as she shook her head at the TV. Bye, Sarah. You shouldn't have said shit. Should have just changed the channel. Should have just went and changed the channel. But you opened your lips, and that's where you slipped, because now Jason about to dip. Watch this shit. Jason wrapped his arms around her petite frame and kissed her on the neck. Sarah was a true beauty. Her chocolate skin was smooth, and her light brown eyes were big and round. Her curly fro was big and full with a small flower on the front. She was 5'6", and everything about her read a true African queen. Bet you don't know Jason's mom called that baby a nigger baby, do you? What's wrong, baby? Jason asked. Aw, shit. Bye, Sarah. Some lady named Chelsea White, let's give him the full fucking name, and also let him know exactly where she's located at, why don't we? Some lady named Chelsea White was left for dead in Philadelphia. I don't know where the fuck y'all are located at. Vinland, I don't know where that is, but you just told him that she ain't where he is, but he know where she is now, and that she's in danger. Bye, Sarah. It takes two to make a thing go right. But it works out better if it's Chelsea White. Bye, Sarah. Some guy slit her throat. They said she was a prostitute, but I don't care what she was. No one had the right to do that to her. Sarah shook her head in disgust. Why are they saying all this on the local news? I mean, she doesn't live anywhere near where they're at. I know that for a fact because they said she dipped out to Philadelphia because it seemed exciting. Why is the story in Philly? Are they in a small ass town or something? I thought they were in New York, honestly. I just thought. But why would a prostitute getting her throat slit who didn't even die? A sex worker who didn't even die. I'm not saying that like to devalue the sex worker. I'm just saying seriously, the news looks at the news like, how does this affect us? If it bleeds, it leads, but it has to bleed in our neighborhood in order to scare the people into wanting to know more. Give a fuck about Philly. Fuck them niggas. And fuck Pittsburgh too. That's what they're saying. I say it too because really fuck Pittsburgh, but still. Jason's heart dropped. As he looked at the screen, he saw all of this happen Friday night. He felt terrible because while he was out celebrating, someone was harming Chelsea. What's wrong, sweetie? She said. I know her, Jason said with his head low. Oh my gosh, is that Chelsea's mother? Yes, baby. Chelsea, the sex worker, had a baby, and they named the baby Chelsea. Like, of all the names that they could have chosen for this baby in this book, they chose Chelsea Jr. And her mom named her, and then wrote wrote Jason, who's not the dad, a letter. Because right after she had gotten fucked in the train by Derek's friends, she found out she was pregnant like a week later. I don't know how, but whatever. And so she wrote Jason and fooled him into marrying her, and then she stole all his money, and then she left him with her baby, who's half black, half white, and dipped out to Philly. But the baby's name is Chelsea. Oh my gosh, is that Chelsea's mother? Sarah asked. Yes, that's her. Chelsea has my last name, not her mother's. That's probably why you didn't notice. She noticed out the gate, motherfucker. What? I feel terrible, Jason explained. Baby, I am so sorry that this happened. Why didn't you tell me about her mother? We could have tried to help her, Sarah said. No, Chelsea can't be helped. Believe me, I've tried. I've done all I could for her. I know this happened for a reason, but I have to get to work, Jason said as he got up. He didn't quite know how to handle this situation. A part of him wanted to run to Chelsea's rescue, but then a part of him wanted to say, I told you so. All in all, he knew he couldn't go to the hospital to see Chelsea, because that would just bring back old feeling he was trying to keep in the past. Jason did what he had been doing for Chelsea, which was pray for her. Chapter 20. Derek was in Palm Springs, living the life. His bank account was full, and he had 10 grand in his pocket. After everything went down that night, he cleaned out Chelsea's bank account and got ghost. As far as Derek knew, Chelsea was dead, and he wasn't trying to go down for any of that. "Sir, would you like another drink?" the waitress in the bikini asked. "Yeah, give me a Long Island iced tea," Derek replied as he lit up his cigar. In a way, Derek felt bad about the way things went down between him and Chelsea. She wasn't a bad girl, she just got caught up in the wrong things. He took advantage of her because he needed the money. But what bothered him most was when he found out she had been dealing with his father, Jeremy. What the fuck? He never respected Chelsea as a woman, but he respected her hustle for money. His father, Jeremy, was a crackhead, and he knew whomever came in contact with him would fall victim as well. Derek hated his father for influencing his mother to get on drugs. He started selling weed at the age of 16 to make money, to get his mother into a good rehab. Wait, what? He started selling drugs at the age of 16 so then he could get his mom, who was addicted to drugs, into a drug rehab. Okay. Once she got clean, they moved and never looked back to their old life again. "Here you go, sir," the waitress said as she sat down his drink. "I can't get a happy ending?" Derek asked. The girl looked at him and smiled. She was average, but she had a beautiful bronze skin tone. "You didn't even bother to take me my name." "What the fuck? You didn't even bother to take me my name." That sounded like a Lil Nas album title. She said with a playful attitude. She didn't say that, I said that. She said, "You didn't even bother to take me my name." "Oh, I'm sorry, gorgeous. I'm Derek. What's your name?" he asked. "Tiffany," she responded. "Nice to meet you, Tiffany. Now, what about that happy ending?" Derek said as he unzipped his pants. Tiffany giggled as she went between his legs and got on her knees. Derek eyed her as she grabbed a hold of his dick and took every last inch of him into her mouth. "Damn, this is definitely paradise," Derek said with a moan. Chapter 21. It had been 4 months since Chelsea almost lost her life. After going through physical therapy and drug rehab, she was finally able to walk the streets again. "Miss White, I wish the best for you, and remember, if you need anything, please don't hesitate to call," said one of the rehab workers. "Thank you. I appreciate all you've done for me," Chelsea said with a smile as she walked away. She got to the bus stop and smiled big as she looked around. It felt good to feel and smell the fresh air. Chelsea was clean and ready to live life the right way. She was ready to be with Jason and raise her daughter. She got on the bus and headed to her destination. Chapter 22. The bus ride was long, but peaceful. I don't know why they use a paragraph for a fucking chapter. Stop asking me. The bus ride was long, but peaceful, and it was just what Chelsea needed. She walked up to Jason's door and knocked twice. Her heart warmed when she heard baby Chelsea cooing and talking. When the door opened, Chelsea was greeted by a black woman. "Hello, may I help you?" Sarah asked. "Yes, I'm here to see Jason," Chelsea responded. "May I ask who you are?" she said. "Tell him that it's Chelsea," she responded with more attitude than needed. Sarah looked Chelsea up and down, then noticed a long cut across her neck. She couldn't believe she was actually staring Chelsea in the eyes. "Please, come in," Sarah told her. Chelsea smiled and walked in. Jason's home was beautiful, and it gave her a warm feeling. It still felt very homey. What do you mean, it's still? Nigga, when you took all his money, he had to move out the house that he had. It can't still feel anything. It's your first time in the house. It felt homey. Homie? "Honey, you have company," Sarah yelled. When Chelsea heard that, she looked over at Sarah and gave her the stank eye. She was hoping her worst nightmare was not about to come true. Jason came out from the living room with baby Chelsea in his arms and froze in his footsteps. "Hi, Jason. How are you?" Chelsea said. I'm fine, Chelsea. How are you?" he asked. "Better. Much better," she told him. "That's good to know," said Jason. "Wow, she's getting big," Chelsea said as she walked over to Jason and her daughter. "Yes, she is. And she's as healthy as ever," Jason said with a smile. "Thank you for taking care of her. I feel horrible for leaving you two, but now I'm back, and I'm ready for us to be a family. Jason, I am ready to marry you." Chelsea said as she hugged him. Sarah stood there looking for Jason to respond. She wasn't quite sure how she should have reacted. Chelsea realized Jason wasn't hugging her back, so she pulled away. "What's wrong?" she said. "Chelsea, I'm afraid it's too late for that now," Jason said. Chelsea looked confused. "What do you mean?" she asked. "Chelsea, I'm engaged. Sarah's my fiancée," Jason revealed. Chelsea's heart dropped. She couldn't believe what she was hearing. This was a smack in the face to her. She thought Jason would always be there waiting for her, but she was wrong. "Wow. Jason, I thought we'd be a family," Chelsea told him. "Chelsea, sweetheart, I've tried. I've always tried to be there for you, but you pushed me away. You've done any and everything in your power to hurt me and use me. I finally found a little strength to get over it," Jason explained. "You said you would always be there for me," Chelsea said as tears ran down her face. "You're right. I did say that, and I will always be there for you, but I can't be with you, Chelsea. I'm sorry," said Jason. Chelsea wiped her tears away. She knew this day would come, but she never believed that Jason had the guts to move on from her. "What about Chelsea?" she asked. "She's well taken care of, and you can come see her whenever you like. I will not keep you away from our daughter," he said. Chelsea looked Jason in his eyes. She had lost a good man. "I told you this is a Justin Richburg book. I told you so. It was just written by a woman. That's all. That's all that's different." Life was hitting her hard in every direction. After everything she had done to Jason, he did the one thing she asked him to, and that was to take care of baby Chelsea. Even though she didn't want to walk away, she knew it was best. Chelsea turned to Sarah, who was standing by the door. "He's a good man. Don't make the same mistake I did and lose him," Chelsea told her as she walked to the door. "Chelsea, it doesn't have to end like this," Jason called out to her. "Yes, it does, Jason. I can no longer let my life be a burden on you, and I damn sure don't want to be a burden on my child. I want her to be a better woman than I am," Chelsea told him as she walked out. She walked down the street to the bus stop. As she sat there and waited, a guy came and sat next to her. Chelsea held her head low so he wouldn't see the tears falling from her eyes. "Excuse me, is there something you want?" she asked as she wiped her face. "I'm just here trying to find out why a beautiful snow bunny like you out here at the bus stop alone. Where your man at, baby?" the guy asked her. Chelsea looked up at the guy. It was deja vu all over again, and before she knew it, she was in his apartment, having sex with him and 8 of his friends for money. "Yeah, Jason, I want to be in your life. I want to marry you." "Nah, I'm good." "All right, cool. Where the next closest 9 men at?" "Pay me." Chapter 23. Jason sat at the kitchen table, holding baby Chelsea as he was deep in thought. Sarah came behind him and rubbed his shoulders. "Baby, are you okay?" she asked. "I wish I could say yes, but I can't. I didn't want things to end this way," Jason explained. Sarah understood where Jason was coming from, but she also understood why Chelsea walked out the way she did. "Jason, you can't keep beating yourself up over this. All things happen for a reason. Maybe Chelsea thought that this was best. I mean, you have to admit, us being together was probably a lot for her to take in," Sarah told him. Jason held on to baby Chelsea as if his life depended on it. He felt like everything was falling apart once again. "What do you mean by that?" Jason asked. Sarah sat down at the table and looked Jason directly in the eye. "Jason, be honest. How many white women do you see come home and see their ex with a black woman? You don't hear about that often. It's always a black man leaving his black girlfriend or wife for a white woman. Damn, bars. I just thought this was all a bit much for her, and I can't blame her for feeling overwhelmed and walking out the way she did," Sarah explained. Jason agreed. He didn't want to say anything, but he knew by the way Chelsea looked at Sarah that she was insulted. The only thing was, Jason didn't care because he loved Sarah. He loved the way she took care of baby Chelsea. "So you love her as a maid? You love her nanny action? Like, what are we talking about here? Your love is not altruistic, nigga. You love her as a help nurse? Like, you love her as a wet nurse? What are we talking about here? You love the way she helps you out with baby Chelsea. You sound like you love her as a house nigga." Wow. She did start off working for you, and then you started fucking her. You brought her into the big house. I see through you, Jason. You ain't no better than your mama. He loved the way she carried herself like the queen she was. Everything about her was like a breath of fresh air. When he was feeling down, she made sure by the end of the day he was wearing a smile on his face. Despite Chelsea walking out of his life again, Jason was happy. It took him a long time to realize that Chelsea didn't want to be helped, and he was now content with that. He didn't lose Chelsea to drugs. Jason lost Chelsea to the streets. That's it. That's the whole book. I could start part 2 if you want. But that's it. It ain't a long book. 916-633-1537. Ratchet and Ratchet at gmail.com. Ratchet Book Club on Twitter. Ratchet Book Club on Facebook. Leave a review on Spotify. It takes like 13 seconds. Leave a review on Podchaser. Leave a review on Apple Podcasts. Leave a review on the Good Pods app. You can also leave a tip or a donation at patreon.com/single simulcast or at buymeacoffee.com/sscast or on the Good Pods app. There's a tip jar. Thank y'all so much for listening. I greatly appreciate it. Y'all be good. I'm holler at you later. Peace. The intro and outro to Ratchet Book Club is by That Kid Garan, and it's called Goodbyes. You can email him at tkgbeats94@gmail.com for more information on how to lease this beat.
This is Single Simulcast.